1518. A small town in the heart of Europe. People were starving. Disease was everywhere. Fear filled the streets. But that summer, something happened that could not be explained by war, by sickness, or even by reason itself. Because people started dancing, and some of them danced until they died. Even today, historians still cannot fully explain what happened. So tonight, we are diving into one of the darkest mysteries in human history, the dancing plague of 1518. It was a hot day in July. In the city of Strasbourg, a normal morning had just begun, until one woman stepped into the middle of the street. Her name was Frau Troffea. There was no music, no celebration, no festival. And yet, she suddenly began to dance. At first, people thought she had simply lost her mind. Maybe she was drunk, maybe she was sick, but then hours passed, and she never stopped. One entire day went by, and the woman was still dancing. Her feet were bleeding, her breathing became heavy, her body was collapsing. But she could not stop, and then things became terrifying, because other people started dancing too. First a few, then dozens, then hundreds. Imagine walking outside your home and seeing people uncontrollably dancing in the streets. Some were crying, some were screaming, some collapsed to the ground only to stand back up again. But none of them could stop. That was the most horrifying part. Nobody understood why it was happening. The city authorities panicked. Doctors were called in. But the doctors of that time made an unbelievable decision. They said, "These people have a sickness caused by dancing. The only cure is to let them dance it out." Yes, they truly believed that. And what happened next sounds almost unreal. The authorities built stages for the dancers. Musicians were hired, drums, violins, flutes. Think about that for a second. People were literally dancing themselves to death. And the city was helping them continue. And somehow, the situation became even worse. Soon, dancers filled the streets of Strasbourg. Some people danced for days without sleep. Some died from heart attacks. Others collapsed from exhaustion. Some suffered strokes. Historical records claim that on certain days, up to 15 people were dying daily. Fear spread across the city. Many believed the town had been cursed. Some said the devil himself had arrived. Others believed it was the punishment of God, and many thought they had been cursed by Saint Vitus. To the people of the Middle Ages, there was no scientific explanation. But honestly, even today, there still isn't a perfect one. And this is where the mystery becomes truly disturbing, because historians have spent centuries asking one question: why did these people dance until death? The first theory: poisoned bread. Some researchers believe the people of Strasbourg consumed rye bread infected with a toxic fungus called ergot. This fungus can cause hallucinations. In fact, some experts say its effects are similar to LSD, so perhaps the townspeople experienced mass hallucinations. But there's one major problem with that theory. Hallucinations are one thing. Dancing non-stop for days is another. And the victims weren't acting randomly. They were all showing the same terrifying behavior, which is why many historians believe the explanation is incomplete. The second theory is even more unsettling. Mass hysteria. Now pay close attention. At that time, Strasbourg was suffering terribly. Famine, disease, extreme poverty, constant fear of death. People were mentally shattered, and according to some experts, one person's uncontrollable behavior may have triggered everyone else. A psychological chain reaction. A city slowly losing its mind together. And the terrifying part is, science says this is actually possible. Under extreme stress, the human mind can behave in ways we still struggle to understand. But still, can mass hysteria alone explain something this extreme? That's the question nobody can answer for sure. The madness continued for weeks. The city had become a nightmare, bleeding feet, collapsed bodies, endless screaming, and non-stop dancing echoing through the streets. Finally, the authorities changed their approach. The dancers were taken to a shrine outside the city. Religious rituals were performed. Some were given red shoes, others were blessed. Some confessed their sins, and strangely, the plague slowly began to fade away, but it left behind questions that remain unanswered to this day. Was it truly mass hysteria, a curse, or was it something darker? Something hidden deep inside the human mind? Now here's the most chilling part. This was not the only dancing plague in history. Yes, similar outbreaks happened across Europe. People dancing uncontrollably, screaming, convulsing, moving as if trapped inside their own bodies. And even now, historians still don't fully understand why it happened. So imagine this. You walk into your city tomorrow morning, and hundreds of people are dancing in silence, unable to stop. How terrifying would that be? Maybe the scariest part of all is this. There is still so much about the human mind we do not understand. And perhaps what happened in 1518 was only the beginning.